You must know Chinatown as a tourist attraction, but do you know the history behind it? I'm here today with Dorothy from Walkwas, who will give us a tour of the different attractions and tell us about the Chinese settlement and how they came over after the gold rush. Are you guys ready for the tour? Let's go! Hi Dorothy, how are you doing?
Yeah, glad to meet you, Sabina.
Nice to meet you too. So, what are a little bit of the tours and attractions we'll be seeing today?
Well, we usually start right here in Portsmouth Square because in the old days it was called La Plaza because of the many Hispanic settlers who were here early on. In fact, the Mexican flag was flying right here in La Plaza, 1800, replaced by the USA flag 46 years later. Now we know that hundreds of Chinese men came soon after that because of the gold rush in the 1850s. And then later on, thousands of Chinese men arrived because of the railroad building, and they needed laborers. And Chinese men were willing to work for less. But archaeologists says, hey, wait a minute. We know Chinese were here much, much earlier than that. In the early research, archaeologists have found along the Pacific Ocean floor, clear up Northern California, past Los Angeles harbor area. They found these huge stone anchors, and they figured out that these stone anchors came off of Chinese sailing ships 2,000 to 3,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, well, we're here in front of a monument that is quite significant. It was actually, I don't know if people can actually read it, but it marks the first public school in California. And it was constructed by a black man, William Leidestoff. He arrived here in 1841 from the Danish West Indies. His mother was African descent, father Danish, but he was raised by an Englishman, very well educated. And he not only was an entrepreneur, but he was on the first city council here. He was city treasurer. He was appointed U.S. vice consul. And he also was on the first Board of Education committee, and that's where this public school was built. As you can see, it was not very big, and it's outlined by the grass area in back of the monument. This is Grant Avenue, which is the main street of Chinatown. 4 blocks south behind me is the gate. And 4 blocks to the north would be the other end of Chinatown.
this is a green. Green teas are picked and heat roasted right away, so there's no oxidation involved. Black teas would be leaves that have gone through full oxidation after they're harvested before the heat grows. This is a white tea that's pick and roll so that it stays fresh, but white teas are very floral, nutty, creamy as well. They are oftentimes scented with jasmine, but for this batch, it's naturally creamy, so we didn't add anything else to it. And oolong teas are, it's similar to what we're tasting right now, are specific varietals which have gone through some oxidation. Think of it as different styles of roasting coffee. This is light, this is more of a dark. So the darker roast would have more of a chocolatey finish versus the lighter ones would have a much more floral, nuttier finish.
So which one is your favorite?
My favorites are oolongs, but I drink all types of teas. Because like this morning I had a green tea and now I'm here drinking an oolong. And usually after a heavier meal to settle the stomach, I would have a pu'er. And pu'ers are much darker teas because they're also aged teas. And folks who are sensitive to theanine or the stimulant in tea oftentimes would drink the aged teas. But we have basically different types of teas based on the time of day. If you want something very healthy to drink, I often recommend a green or white tea, which is very sweet, or a light oolong. So I have many favorites actually.
Yeah.